I've been getting a lot of questions about menu design. So in this episode, we're going to discuss menu design and what I would do if we were building a menu from scratch. Before we get started, alerts, subscribe, comments if you need to, but definitely check out the links below. If you're not familiar with them, you're in for a surprise. One of those links is going to allow you to reach out to me, tell me a little bit about you. I'm going to send you more links. You're going to get a free ebook on how to start a meal plan company for $500. You're going to get an order tracking system that I created on Google Sheets. It'll accommodate up to 620 weekly orders. Hopefully that'll help you out with your billing, your crediting, your packing, your production, and even your credit system. Refunds and things like that you want to keep track of. And then you're also going to get, there's probably some other links, but the other one I can remember is going to be an invite to the Facebook group. It's a private group just for my viewers, and there's a wealth of information in there, perspectives from a bunch of different stages in the meal plan game. A lot of them are just starting off, some of them are waiting to start and doing some preliminary research, and some of them are seasoned pros with years of experience, and everyone's chiming in, giving you answers to your questions faster than I could. That's really why I created the group, and it's already taken off, and it's an immediate success. So shoot a question, maybe see a question that you haven't thought of yet, and get some answers to some stuff that you're going to need to know for starting and growing your meal plan business.
Welcome to our channel where we go behind the scenes of our meal plan company Fit Food Fresh and other local businesses across South Florida. Make sure you hit the subscribe and alerts so you never miss a video, and hit us with any questions or suggestions.
All right, let's talk menu design. I think a lot of you guys are spending a lot of time and struggling a lot more than you should be with your initial menus. Accept the fact that your initial menu will not be your best menu. The menu that you have a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now will continually get better. Also, there might be stuff that you have to offer later that isn't a demand right now. Keto was not something that we started with. We now have keto on the menu. So let's focus on what I would suggest starting off at any time, regardless of any trends. How would I suggest you start with your initial menu? First off, as I've said with so many things, keep it simple. These expectations that you're setting right now are integral to the success of your company. These expectations will make or break your company, I promise you. So if you're trying to do something that's too complex, even though it's something that you want to do in the long-term picture of your company, I implore you to please try to limit how complicated you make your mousetrap when you first start off, all right? So menu specifically, I would suggest, number one, you go with what you know. If you're vegan, go with vegan. Do the vegan niche. If you're not vegan, that's probably not a niche that I would target initially. It's just going to be harder for you to excel at a vegan menu if you're not living that lifestyle. Same thing with keto and paleo. While those are easier, it's still not easy for you to target that niche initially if that's not something that is a legitimate part of your life. So lead with your strengths and don't be ashamed to start with comfort food. There's this expectation for a lot of people, does it have to be healthy? No, it doesn't have to be healthy. There's meal plans out there that are doing barbecue now. I've got at least two of you who I know of are barbecue companies or barbecue caterers who are now doing meal plan companies. And there was actually an example of a barbecue-based meal plan company who was very heavy into keto. I forget their name now. There's someone else in the beginning I was speaking with, I think in Toronto, who is doing a Caribbean meal plan company. I think I've heard of 2 or 3 people who are going for Caribbean. That's great. That stuff also happens to be healthy. The keto and barbecue form a great alliance, and Caribbean food can definitely be healthy, but that's not the first thought that a lot of people have when they have a meal plan company, but that is the strength, I'm assuming, of these people. I'm assuming if they're leading with barbecue, if they're leading with Caribbean, if they're leading with vegan, that's going to be a strength or a strong interest that you have, and that will help you succeed. Don't feel pressured to put on a dietary category that you're not comfortable with just because it's trending right now. While trends are important, and I'll get to that later, don't feel pressured to start off in an unfamiliar territory. In the beginning, you're going to want it to be as familiar and have as many advantages as possible. So don't try being something that you're not, because it may be difficult for you to keep up with those expectations. Now, when you do start getting into any of the dietary categories, if you start to go that route, and don't feel pressured to do that just because I'm discussing it, but let's say, we've got a vegan menu. Our chef isn't vegan. I'm not vegan. I do eat vegan food. I'd say 20 to 30% of my diet is probably plant-based vegan stuff. But the way we found it initially was we would Google vegan recipes, And what you want to do is start with something that's familiar. People will easily order off of a menu when they have an idea of what the dish is going to look like and what it's going to taste like. Chicken Parmesan, if you do a keto version of a chicken Parmesan or a paleo version of a chicken Parmesan or a gluten-free version of a chicken Parmesan, that's a meal that almost everybody in America has had in their life at some point. If you go into vegan stuff, I would suggest, vegan meatloaf, vegan tacos, vegan mushroom burger. You just put a vegan French toast on the menu. You don't have to make up these recipes. You can just Google vegan whatever and you'll be able to find it. Keto, whatever, paleo, whatever. There's versions of all of this stuff. You look up vegan chicken wings, as much of an oxymoron as that sounds, I assure you, you can find some kind of recipe for vegan chicken wings. And while an omnivore might not be satisfied with them, a vegan is going to probably enjoy them if you pull off the cooking sufficiently. Now, as I mentioned before, trends are important. One thing that I love always keeping an eye on is, and this is something that's free, without you going into Google Analytics or anything else, you can go to Google Trends and just actually go to Google and just type in the word trends, and the first result is going to be Google Trends Lab. And what you can do is actually put in search terms. You can see how they perform against each other. You can look at the geographics on it. So you can look into your area and see how the terms vegan versus vegetarian versus pescatarian versus keto versus whatever are trending in your area, and it gives you a little bit more insight. While you might not want to make 100% of your decisions based on this, you can get some pretty good insights as to what's trending. Quick hint for you right now, keto and vegan are probably the top 2 categories trending right now. If you run out of ideas, just go to your local restaurants, and I stress local because the local companies are going to have a better idea of your local palate. Now, here in South Florida, we obviously have a lot of Caribbean flair to our menu. I would imagine in Texas, there's probably much more of a taste for Mexican food and probably some amazing barbecue. In Wisconsin, you're probably going to have some bratwurst on your menu. You have to consider the local flavors and what people are already craving. Again, stick with what's familiar to not only you, but also your audience. Now, once you've got some business going, poll your clients. Ask them what they'd like to see on the menu. You've probably heard me tell this story in another video, but Steven and I were writing the menu one Saturday back when I was the salesman, and I was on the phone with a husband and wife who were joining our meal plan, and I asked them if there'd been a dish that they'd love to see us try to put on the menu, and they asked about stroganoff. They hadn't had stroganoff since they started dieting, and they said, "We love stroganoff. We would love to have a guilt-free stroganoff if you could put that on the menu." Brought it to the chef, put it on, and it's been one of our top sellers for years. That's a free tip, but I don't know how stroganoff is going to do in your area. It comes down to what people in your area are already eating, what they're familiar with, and the best way to find out is to ask them. All right, eaters and feeders, that's what I've got for you. Check out my links, check out the subscribe button and the alert button, see what happens when you click on those, and check out my other videos. I look forward to helping you guys succeed in 2020, and I hope you have a great day. I look forward to witnessing your success in 2020 and beyond. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you got something out of it. I hope I answered some questions, and more importantly, I hope I put some new questions in your brain. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.